Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Abby and I am really glad that you are here. I thought that I would do just another day in the life vlog to kind of update you guys on some things and talk about how school has been going, teaching during the pandemic, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like I haven't vlogged in a long time, and so I just figured I'd just go for it and do it for today. So today is actually Friday. Love that for us. And I just got to school. I'm actually running a tiny bit late. It's like 7:05 and I need to go pick up my student at 7:10. I've mentioned this before. I escort a student to all of their classes. Basically, the student just has some behavioral problems and doesn't always make it to class, doesn't always make good choices in the hallways. And so part of what we do as the special education department is we kind of advocate for those students and help them make better decisions by just kind of being their buddy walking to class. And so I need to run in there and put it down my stuff and then go meet him and see if he's here today. Sometimes he is online, but hopefully he's here. Really fast, I don't know why I want to mention this, but coming to school and going home have honestly been very therapeutic times for me during this semester, or during this school year, not a semester. And part of that is just, I feel like I have time to myself, time to pray, time to think, time to reflect, and time to just kind of listen to what I want. And so, in case anybody's wondering, which probably nobody is, but some things that I listen to on the way to school and going home, I kind of have 3 different moods, if you will. So first mood is kind of a podcast. So usually I'll listen to some kind of Christian podcast or some kind of prayerful podcast if I'm feeling that. And then the other 2 are kind of more of like nostalgic songs that are really therapeutic for me. And so in that, there's like 2 different modes, and one of them is like throwback Christian music. I'm talking like the Christian music that you listen to on the radio whenever you were like in middle school or elementary school, and kind of like the early 2000s vibes. Love that. And then the other one is like early 2000s, but it's like emo punk kind of music, like All American Rejects, all that kind of stuff. Those are kind of my 3 modes in the morning and in the afternoon of like what I like to listen to and what feels therapeutic for me during my drives. And I don't know why I wanted to talk about that this morning, but I figured that I would share. So in case anybody's curious, this morning was a 2000s emo punk All American Rejects mood, and so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Anyways, I just want to say hello, kick off this vlog right here. I just got to school, I gotta run inside, and I will catch up with you guys a little bit later.
What if I wake up happy? And what if I wake up sad?
Hello guys, so I am in the para office for a second because I had a student who was making up a test during a class period yesterday. So I filled out their little note sheet, but I forgot to bring it to class with me. So grabbing that, figured I would update y'all really fast because I'm the only one in here. And y'all know how I feel about vlogging in front of people. I get embarrassed, and so, but so far the day's going really well. My friend, like my student that I walk to all of their classes, he is here today, and so have my little walking buddy for the day. Kind of how that works, I am an in-class support paraprofessional, which means I go into a ton of different math classes, like a new math class every single period, to tutor either one-on-one or in small groups the kids who qualify for special education accommodations. So I'm like in and out of classes. So basically what happens is I leave whatever class I'm in 5 minutes early to go get him from his class and then walk him to his next period, and then I go walk to my next period. So definitely get in all my steps during the day usually whenever he's here. But yeah, so far it's going well. We're only in 2nd period, so nothing crazy's happening, but I'll catch up with you guys soon.
Promise I am not your enemy. I just need another memory. That's all I want. 'Cause all I want is you. Is you. It takes two.
Hello friends, so it is the end of the day now. I think I left y'all kind of abruptly. The last time I talked to you was at 2nd period, and I left y'all really abruptly because my coworker started walking in and I got like really nervous and I panicked. She saw me anyway. She was like, "What are you doing?" And so I just like explain to her that I have a YouTube channel and I get embarrassed filming in front of people. So I think she already knew that I had a YouTube channel. She just like forgot. But anyways, today was a good day. Pretty chill. Had a lot of students test this week, like just like a lot of math tests and everything in all of the different math classes, and so that kept me pretty busy. And the student that I walked to all of their classes, they had a really good day today. All the teachers were really just like complimentary of their behavior and just really encouraging, and so love that for that student. I am going to go home and change. I have somewhere to be later tonight, but I definitely will touch back with y'all a little bit later, because I do want to kind of better catch y'all up on what school has actually been like, what the Texas snow meant for us, how we've been coping with that, how it has impacted our community, because I feel like it's impacted kind of the vibe at school, at least for this week. Bottom line is it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been all unicorns and rainbows, and it's been really hard. Yesterday was especially like a really hard day, just for all of us. I feel like my entire team of like coworkers and I were all just really struggling yesterday, and yeah, just battling anxiety, battling just feeling down and sad and overwhelmed by just everything going on, overwhelmed by being at school. Yeah, luckily yesterday I didn't have a lot to do in a lot of my classes, and so I was able to kind of take it easy a little bit. But yeah, so I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about that later, but I need to go home and change and get to where I am supposed to be, so I will touch back with you guys soon. And so it is actually a few days later. I just got out of school. I really wanted to finish off this vlog just by kind of giving y'all a real, honest, and raw update of kind of what school has been like, what teaching has been like, kind of my mental state and everything. And I feel like everybody's mental state right now. Basically, I think it's no secret that teaching during the pandemic is hard for numerous reasons. I think everybody knows why teaching in person and online at the same time is hard. So we're gonna focus on kind of like mentally why it's hard. There has just been a lot of absences over the past few months at our school, just with teachers being out for quarantining, and then we also have a sub shortage. Like, I know Texas wide we have a substitute shortage. It's so hard to say, substitute shortage. That is really hard to say. What that has looked like is sometimes we as pairs have actually jumped in to kind of fill in and sub for a class, which if we're already supposed to be in a whole bunch of different classes during the day, all of us have escorts at this point, so we're keeping up with our schedule and with another student's schedule, and then on top of that, substituting in some classes that aren't being covered because we have, like, there's literally nobody to cover it. And I think just everybody has been pretty just like stressed about kind of how spread thin I think everybody feels. Also, that can feel really chaotic because as much as I love subs and we need them, whenever you have a sub filling in for a class, it's just like, you're just not gonna get as much done. You're not gonna get through as much content. You're not gonna get the students to do as much work. And so if there's a teacher who's out for multiple days or multiple weeks, and then you have a sub in the class trying to fill in, it can just make you feel like you're getting farther and farther and farther behind. Texas has not canceled like state testing. They've actually said, no, we're gonna go through and do it. That has definitely added on to the stress. And I think I have experienced teacher guilt of, you know, whenever I feel like students aren't getting it or they're not improving as much as I want them to. Grade isn't reflecting that they are learning or that they are retaining information, but because they are being tested over all of these things still, like the teachers can't slow down the content. Like there still is this like immense pressure to get through all of the content. So that has been really hard. And I think I know I have been feeling teacher guilt of like, man, like I wish that I could help these kids more than I am, or I feel like I should be doing more, but I literally don't know what else I could do. It's just, I feel like people keep saying, oh, the kids are just so far behind. But the thing is the standard that we're like chalking it up to, that we're saying that they're behind, like we as a society get to set that standard. So it's not that the kids are super far behind, it's that we have still decided to have this standard that is at this point pretty much unattainable by anybody, just given the circumstances that have happened over last year and especially this year. And on top of that, you know, a couple weeks back, we had kind of the big Texas snowstorm. That was really hard, just coming back and asking my students, you know, how are you? How is your house? Are you okay? And we sent out a school-wide survey kind of checking in on like the wellness of students' households. And we had a lot of kids who were either living with other people or had other people living with them because of home damage. A lot of students with busted pipes, a lot of students who still didn't have water even like a week after the fact. Some students who still didn't even have electricity like a week after the fact. And so I think that was just like all around pretty traumatizing for a lot of people because we just didn't see it coming. Last week was our first week back after that big snowstorm, and it was a really hard week. I remember just my anxiety levels were really high. The vibes and the morale and the emotional well-being of kind of, I feel like, students and staff at school was definitely low. And there was one day where I kind of just found it very hard to be in my classes. Had a couple times where I had to go to the para office because I thought I was going to cry. I thought it was gonna break down, and I was like, I can't do this in the hallway. I can't do this in a classroom. There's definitely been days like that. So today's Tuesday. Yesterday was a Monday, and I actually took the day off. I had a death in my family, and we had the service over the weekend, and I think that ended up being more emotionally draining than I thought it would be. And yesterday I was just feeling pretty sad and very anxious, not really about any one thing, just kind of everything felt really overwhelming. I think a common theme in myself, and I'm sure in a lot of people this year, is just the feeling that you're never doing enough, that you can never do enough, you can never catch up, you can never, you know, get on your feet before the kind of the next thing is knocking you down, whether that be just looking at the world and our country and all of the things that have happened and COVID and all of the expectations that you feel like are still on you in the midst of that. And then also personally, a lot of people are still going through just like hard things in their personal life, like they always do. I know for me too, I'm like trying to get certified. I'm trying to do my schoolwork for my certification, and I feel like I should be farther along, and I beat myself up about it, and I know it'll get done. Just that like needless pressure that you put on yourself of, you know, I should have this done already, I should be here already, I should, you know, be at this standard, but this isn't a normal year. We have to learn how to give ourselves grace. It's just hard sometimes to continue to give yourself grace and continue to give other people grace whenever the powers that be that get to set the standards and get to set, you know, what are we going to be tested on, what are we going to be evaluated on, what are we going to evaluate our students on, are still wanting to hold those unattainable standards because you feel like you're trying to extend grace, but the people who really have the power to kind of give everybody a deep breath and extend grace to everybody don't want to do it. I'll kind of leave that there. But yeah, all that to say, I just want to be super honest that it has been hard. I haven't been in the best headspace, which is why I haven't been posting super consistently on Instagram or YouTube. I love being creative and I love making these videos, and it's a great outlet for me, but whenever everything feels overwhelming, something's got to give in order to kind of maintain my own personal boundaries and my own personal mental health. And so for me, that's just been kind of stepping away from social media and the internet a lot more. But I am super thankful that we are in the season of Lent. If you don't know what Lent is, you can Google it. It's basically just a time in the Christian faith where you are a little bit more reflective, a little bit more intentional about looking at the life of Jesus. A lot of people give up something that is like a way of fasting or a way of kind of recentering themselves on Jesus instead of that thing. But yeah, I've been super thankful for it because I feel like I've really needed it, especially during the past couple weeks and yesterday, as things have just felt really heavy. I feel like that's the best way I can put it. Things have just felt heavy lately. I feel like every year Lent kind of comes at just the right time. I don't think that that's a coincidence, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we kind of, whenever all this started, we were in the season of Lent, and now it's a year later and we're in the season of Lent. I don't have any big theological, insightful reason for why I don't think it's a coincidence, but I do just feel like God is in this and God is with us. And I don't know what your faith tradition is, whoever you are watching this. yeah. Anyways, I don't know if any of that made sense. I feel like that was pretty scattered, but yeah, I have just basically this year been a big advocate of mental health days. Yesterday, I took a day, like I said, because I needed a mental health day. And even if that means sometimes using my sick days, in my book, mental health and not feeling well, there qualifies as being sick. And so I don't know what your district's policy is, what your company's policy, whatever you do, whatever you work in, if you're an educator, but I would just really encourage you to take your sick days, take the personal days that they give you. I know that sometimes districts and companies and corporate jobs can have really kind of toxic perspectives of taking days, but I would just really encourage y'all to take those if you can. We have to take care of ourselves in order to take care of our students and in order to take care of our families, and so don't feel guilty or ashamed or apologize for needing to take any kind of sick days or personal days, because I feel like this year, if anything, it is even more important than usual. So I guess I'll just end it there. I hope that some of you watching this maybe can relate to that. Maybe it's comforting to know that there are other people out there feeling the same way that you are. If you want to talk about anything, if you're also an educator and you're wanting to connect with someone who's kind of feeling the same things you are, who's doing the same things, feel free to hit the subscribe button or follow me on Instagram or DM me. I would love to talk to you. And leave a comment down below. I try to respond to as many comments as I possibly can, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye. That's all I want.